And welcome to another episode of Qué Pasó podcast. Now in HD, so we think. Um, I am Ernest.
And I'm Eduardo.
Y soy Tyler Preston Venti.
Yay!
Our,
It's our
our special guest for today.
our token American.
Hell yeah! America!
I can already see the bald eagle flying out of your rear end while firecrackers shoot around you.
Hell, right now I have an American shirt on, so there's that. I'm just so freaking American.
Don't make me put on my Che Guevara hat just to counteract this display of blatant capitalism.
Ugh.
I know. But no, welcome everyone. And Tyler, thanks again for coming on with us. We appreciate it. It's been an interesting week or two in
Yes.
America, Mexico, and Canada.
Yes. Well, as you may recall, last week we have our first history special about the War of the Triple Alliance between Paraguay against Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay. So we are continuing with our normal schedule, which is commenting the news about what's going on in America and sometimes the world when something big pops up there.
Yeah.
So this week we have some really weird happenings in Canada.
Yep, and that is why it's called Trudeau.
Yes.
Because for the starters, we are giving veterans benefits to a cop killer who was never a veteran on the premise that he has PTSD because he killed a cop and that since his father's a veteran of the Canadian Army, he should get the benefits because it helps, as according to the Minister of Veterans Affairs, Seamus O'Regan, it's by helping his son, we're helping the father, and that's what made the benefits applicable. Although in most plans and like benefit schemes, generally once you turn 18, you don't get the benefits anymore if you're the child of the individual. Like my father worked for the government for a while. And when you turn 18, you get cut off. So you're on your own. But for some reason, if you kill a cop and then say you have PTSD, you get psychological help about 6 months earlier than veterans who actually have gotten PTSD and battle fatigue and things like that for actual, considerable reasons, being in combat.
This is not the first time I heard about this kind of story, because I remember in the past, and this is not related to Canada, but it's also just on Twitter in general. I remember some woman saying that she had PTSD because of people talking smack on Twitter.
Yeah, I think I remember that one. But in this case, does this woman and this cop killer had a diagnosed case of PTSD?
I now if it's some woman on Twitter in the United States, I wouldn't be surprised because you can pay a psychiatrist there to tell you anything. This guy apparently has PTSD. I believe it has been confirmed, but I don't really give a damn that he has PTSD or not. He could have hemorrhoids for all I care. He shouldn't get shit. I mean, you murder a cop or you murder anyone and it's not in self-defense, you get nothing. You shouldn't get any form of federal funding except a roll in a jail cell, like a bed sheet, barely a mattress, and maybe some gruel. That's what you should get. I really don't care what else you think you deserve. You have done something wrong, and it's not my job to reward you with benefits that are meant for people who need it. Because in Canada, if people were to look into it, we have a lot of problems giving our veterans benefits. I know people who have struggled to get their benefits. This government has, to an extent, brought some things back. Like they opened up a veterans office near my town, which was a good start. But you still can't get anything. Like I got one guy who served a couple tours in Afghanistan, and because of PTSD and some other things, and that he has to take like medication that happens to have like cannabis in it, because it keeps his PTSD and other issues to a minimum.
Yes.
But no company is going to hire him because he used to work up in Western Canada, in the oil fields. And the worst thing is that they make you do a drug test. And if they detect THC, marijuana, anything at all, you don't get on. So he can't work. So that means he has to collect a military pension. And personally, I've got no problem with it. The guy has done way more than was asked of him. And I that's one tax I don't mind paying because, you know, veterans are awesome.
Oh, speaking about marijuana, when is the marijuana being legalized in your country?
The 17th. So hop on up, light a spiff, and have a good time, dude, because I'm telling you, on that day, my whole area is just going to be this foggy haze of feel good. People are getting high as hell here. I just know it. Even though the funny thing is you're actually not supposed to smoke it in public, and people are already walking around starting to light up. Like they just don't care. And the police don't care either unless you're driving. But it's just getting it's going to be a groovy time. So I'm going to have to do a stream that day, just to tell everyone about all the fun hijinks that got up. You know, I know restaurants are going to do really well that day, guaranteed.
Especially Taco Bell.
Oh, we don't have a Taco Bell. We've got you got A&W? You heard of that?
Yes.
That's they're gonna clean that place out. McDonald's too, and every restaurant here is going to be just people with munchies. All the potato chips at the store are going to be gone. Nachos, non-existent. We got bison burgers at one of the restaurants here. Oh man,
that sounds interesting.
It's delicious, by the way, and if you have it with a poutine, it is it's like the holy grail of food. Except for a steak made from a moose. That is the best thing you can ever eat. So if you can, eat a moose. It's good. I think they have moose in the United States, but
I don't think it's common though. Like I never seen a moose steak here.
a moose is like it's kind of like an awesome deer.
Yes.
But anyway, though, guys, like the other thing that I wanted to say from Canada that is this is actually really, really tragic. There was a young girl here named Tori Stafford, and she got raped and murdered at the age of 8 by these two monsters. Now, it was a man and a woman who did it. I think one was Thomas Rafferty, and the other one was I should have her name here. It's just really, really disgusting. McClintock was her name. They both killed this young girl, and so of course Rafferty went to prison, being the privileged male, and Miss McClintock went to an Aboriginal healing lodge. Because, of course, you know, murdering a child means you are the victim and you need help. She's only served half the time she's needed to become eligible for parole. And somehow, some bureaucrat here in Canada said, well, this is a good idea. This woman needs Aboriginal healing methods. And as I said to Eduardo off screen, the only Aboriginal method I would approve for her would be the Aztec healing method, which is essentially sacrificed to Quetzalcoatl, and that even then wouldn't be enough. But she gets conjugal visits, and she might be for some kind of pension if she worked. But long story short, I believe she is eligible for conjugal visits, which I don't know who would be into that, but just saying. But either way, she's not in jail. She's in essentially a yurt, I guess. And they get incense and they talk about their feelings. And I really don't know what goes on in this healing lodge. I hope it involves beatings, but I'm doubtful. But she's been in there since 2017. So the Conservative Party of Canada brought this up, and they were complaining, and they were going over the details of the murder, and they're like, why would you let this happen? Why would you transfer this psychopath, this monster, to somewhere that essentially rewards them and makes them the victim? And the Prime Minister gets up. And Justin Trudeau, of course, as you know, is the ultimate human being. He's the perfect human who can do no wrong. And he just says, because he's never had a privileged day in his life. He's always worked. So I can't even say that. No, he's a privileged little shit. Either way, he comes out and he's like, well, how dare you discuss this horrible event? How dare you, make the family relive this and share these horrible details with Canada? And that, you're using this girl as a political tool, and her family must be horrified. So shame on you. I'm not answering the question. And he sits down. A couple days later, the girl's dad writes this very good letter that essentially, I'll just have to bring it up here, because it is something that I think people need to hear. And if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to read the letter. It's not too long.
Okay, go ahead.
He goes, "Dear Mr. Trudeau, my name is Rodney Stafford, father of kidnapped, raped, and murdered 8-year-old Victoria Elizabeth Marie Stafford. I plead to you as a father and a proud Canadian citizen who, even after this traumatic experience, tries to live a normal tax-paying life. I really have to question our federal government as to why convicted child murderers, such as Terry Lynn McClintock, deserve more rights than their victims and law-abiding Canadians. I may not have grown up living a perfect life, but I grew up to learn that I love the country I live in, and I know right from wrong. It is a safe and beautiful country. Now I see so many hearts breaking because people are no longer feeling safety and reassurance within our laws. This is an ever-changing world that hosts a new world of manipulative monsters that our nation needs to protect its citizens from. Terry Lynn McClintock is a dangerous predator who has repeatedly engaged in violent altercations, both within society and while being incarcerated, boasting of not being able to do more damage. I would like to ask you, with no will ill, one question, though, if I may. From father to father, could you kneel before your child's headstone, knowing they spent their last 3 hours of their life begging and pleading for mommy and daddy to come and save them? Alone, 8, scared? Can you sleep soundly knowing there is more injustice unfolding before you? Is this enough to remember not all issues are political, some are moral? God bless, and I pray for you to do the right thing, which is to ensure this injustice is reversed and a child killer is returned to prison to finish her sentence behind bars." I mean, that's powerful.
Wow. Oh my God.
And the Prime Minister's like, well, we're gonna look this over now. He didn't say we're going to reverse it, but he assigned the Commissioner of Prisons to review it, which means for now this psychopath gets to enjoy her healing center.
I'm honestly not surprised that Trudeau is acting like this, mostly because of his past behaviors. Like, I remember it was not too long ago that he ended up saying that what was that word? It was oh my God.
People kind?
Yeah, people kind. Not mankind, people kind. And he also did something ridiculous with that mosque. Like, I think he went to a mosque where it was like separated, right?
And he's talking about diversity and shit.
Yeah.
It was no, did you see when he went to India?
Oh, what happened in India?
He went to India and dressed up like a bad Bollywood actor. He literally went on a trade. It was supposed to be a trade mission, and all he did was travel around with his family and dress stupid. He dressed so Indian, even Indians told him to stop doing it. Like they literally said, "Please stop. We don't dress like this. We really don't dress like this. Stop it. Don't do the hand gestures. Don't take pictures in front of the Taj Mahal. Just you came here for stuff. Do it and go home. We do." And I know one guy. He's Indian. His daughter is from my area. She's an Olympic gold medal Paralympian, and he's Indian but he's he's a citizen. He's been here for years, and he's probably more conservative than I am. And he's just like, please listen. He's like, I am Canadian. I'm Indian, and I'm embarrassed, dude. He's like, dude, don't do this. I ask you, don't do anything else stupid, please. And the best part is that it got even worse, because when the Prime Minister went to India, he brought a certain guest. Well, one of the people following him who was a member of Parliament, brought someone who had attempted to murder an Indian cabinet minister in the 80s, and actually succeeded, I believe, in partially paralyzing him. Because this Indian cabinet minister went to a wedding in Vancouver in British Columbia, and this individual, along with several others, ambushed him on a road with guns and shot up his car and severely injured him. And yet we brought him with us, which did not really make the Indian government any happier. So we spent a few $1 million on this. Also, and Trudeau also brought in a celebrity Indian chef from Canada with him, which cost like $200,000, because when you go to India, you need to bring the Indian guy from Canada with you instead of just going to a regular restaurant like normal human beings. So that actually hurt his popularity until the Trump NAFTA thing, in which the Mexicans got a better deal than us, because they understand. No, it's fine. Listen, everyone I know actually is happy for you, because you understand that virtue signaling doesn't pay your bills. Because if it did, Canada would be fucking rich. We'd be like the virtue signal superpower.
Well, you'll be competing with Sweden.
We're not that cucked. I mean, now if you want cuckery, I mean, those guys they're the Roman Empire of cucks. Okay, that's just it. We are more like I don't know, we're like the Mongol empires, and we get all this cuckery and stupidity, and then we break apart quickly. So
but I would like to bring another issue with what happened in Canada, like this. Sure. Do you remember this guy who killed? Who I think he was an Arab, Canadian Arab. He killed some soldier, and he got he got 10 million from the government.
Yeah, Omar Khadr.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave him $10 million because he went to Guantanamo Bay and apparently got slightly tortured.
What?
Yeah, he got waterboarded a few times, and while I think, and maybe teabagged by Colin Powell, I don't know. Which I mean is not the worst way to go, I guess, because everyone loves Colin Powell. I mean, he's got colon in his name, so you know he's an asshole. But he goes up and he's like, I was tortured, not by Canada, but I was tortured. So I need restoration. I need restitution. So we gave him $10 million.
Oh my God.
And said we're sorry that Uncle Sam tortured him.
But he was a terrorist, right?
Yes, he was. He was in Afghanistan. They said that he was only there, like he was just biased. His dad was his father decided to take him for a walk, which involved throwing hand grenades at U.S. soldiers, because that's what a good father does. You know, take your kid to a war zone. You know, I mean, you could also make the argument that that's Chicago, but I digress. Take your kid to war day. You know, it's come on, kids. We're going to Chicago. Get your vests on. Jake, get that AK-47. Lock and load, bitch. Let's go. We're going to get ice cream at Denny. We're going to Denny's. So lock and load. But you know, this is what, you know, Afghan. Well, he's not even Afghan. He's Palestinian or something, or Egyptian. No, he's Egyptian. Because, you know, everyone wants to take their kid to literally the armpit of the world for a vacation.
The best place in the world.
Oh no, it's the happy. I mean, it's supplemented Tijuana as the happiest place on earth, as if everyone remembers that Simpsons episode. We gave him $10 million, and then his sister was married to a Canadian guy who turned out he went to Afghanistan with his next wife. They divorced, and he went to Afghanistan with his American-born wife, and then they got captured by the Taliban or one of those weird networks. I think it was the Haqqani network, and apparently she got the shit beaten out of her, raped. Everyone, you know, Afghans like to treat women terribly. And he came back. So we bailed him out, we ransomed him, and sent him back to Canada. He wasn't here 3 days, and he sexually assaulted somebody.
Oh my!
I gotta look him up because it was messed up, but it was kind of weird that it happened. I can't even remember the guy's name, but he was married to Omar Khadr's sister. But you know, but then again, you know, I'm actually surprised that we didn't kill Khadr, because, you know, if you kill your enemies, they win, as Justin Trudeau said.
The theme still is like there's a common theme with these stories. Like maybe Canadians are just too nice.
I think we are. I hate to say it, because we are. You know, like, I mean, it makes me kind of want to like commit a crime, because if I do, I'll get a couple $1 million. You know, I should, if I join ISIS, I mean, I'll get paid. If CSIS is listening, I don't want to join ISIS. I don't want to go to prison, please. Even if it's Canadian jail, I really just don't want to go. I'm just trying to find out his sister, because she married this guy, and if you look him up, he's a champ. I mean, nothing says "I love you, dear" like honeymooning in Afghanistan, because it's just a good idea.
Yeah, they say that the Korengal Valley is something worth seeing.
Oh yeah, Kabul and springtime in Kandahar, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, when those rockets go off, that's just romance. And I mean, you know, you can enjoy it with your wife while, you know, she has her full body niqab on. You know, Joshua Boyle, that was his name, Joshua Boyle. They were apparently backpacking through Afghanistan and got captured. And yeah, he ended up like getting charged. It was he had just gotten back, and he was charged with assault, sexual assault, and unlawful confinement. So that's a good way to celebrate just getting back to Canada and meeting with the Prime Minister, because that's what he did. He got back, and the Prime Minister had him in his office. And then he goes out and does this stuff. So it's not good. But now he's on bail. So, because that's what you want. You want someone who married a terrorist family and then took his next wife to Afghanistan, where she was raped repeatedly and beaten to shit. You know, you really want that kind of guy out walking around. Well, not walking around, but, you know, you want him not in prison. So, yay, Canada.
It's, I mean, I what I've seen from this is that people like Faith Goldie, Ezra Levant, Brian Lilley, and all these guys are having a field day with the soft approach of Trudeau's administration to crime. So it's
God, it's fantastic because with all the shootings, apparently Canada has way too many shootings lately, and so we've decided now that we might have to ban handguns, because if we ban legal handguns, all the illegal ones will instantly disappear as well.
I mean, I'm not a particular fan of these guys, but now I might agree with them that maybe Trudeau is a little lenient with, this administration is looking a little lenient with criminals, not only petty criminals, but even the worst kind of them.
I think, like, the worse kind of criminal you are, the better you get it. You'd be like, here in my province, if you are addicted to opioids, you get the government and you want to get clean, quote unquote. The government pays for your taxi to go back and forth to the pharmacy so you can get your methadone, and they pay for your methadone. So you can literally be a junkie, the worst kind of, like, ghetto ass windbreaker wearing junkie, and the government is going to be like, here's your fix, dude, have a great day, remember, don't do drugs except this one.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I know people, and there was one woman on the radio a few days ago angry that the government didn't pay for her hour-long back and forth cab ride to the pharmacy in that town so she could get her drug fix. Like, well, it's supposed to help her with her addiction, but everyone I know, like, methadone doesn't really help that much. It stops the craving, but it doesn't get you off the addiction. It takes a long time. There's other stuff you can take. I've got to research it a bit more. But yeah, so long story short, she was mad that the government wasn't paying her cab drivers fast enough. And apparently, like, this cab trip, I did some research. It costs like $100 one way and then back. So you're looking at two, and she has to get her methadone every day. So you're looking at, $200 a day, times that by 6 months. It's a fun time, especially when the place I live in is bankrupt. Like, we're not Venezuela broke, but we're getting there. We're not, well, I mean, I can't say that. We're not beating pigeons with a stick yet. But it's coming. I shouldn't make any more Venezuela jokes. I'm already banned from the country. That is sadly true. But
how did you get banned?
I sent Nicolas Maduro a giant red dildo and told him to go sit on it. I wish I was joking, but I also put my address on there because Canada Post wouldn't let me send the package without my return address. and then I applied to go to Venezuela, and I got a letter saying that essentially if I tried to go, I would be arrested and I'm not allowed in. And to have a nice day. So at least they wished me well. But yeah, I'm actually getting ready to get some more consoladores and enviar un poco más por el presidente and por Delcy Rodriguez. She needs one too. She needs some love. But yeah, so if anyone wants to join in on that, by the way, that is a thing I'm going to be doing. We're going to be sending dildos to Maduro just to remind him to go fuck himself on a daily basis. So, Tyler, I think that might be something you'd be interested in, but I think I encourage everyone who's listening, send Nicolas Maduro a dildo.
Yes, please.
At the very least, the Venezuelans can use the plastic because God knows they're not getting any now. I'll try to find the letter because I took a picture of the letter and I'll send it to you guys when I get the chance.
Okay.
But essentially it's me. It's just like I would just like you to feel what you're doing to your people. So please take this consolador and sit on it without lubrication. And then I got blocked on Twitter by him. So I'm blocked on Twitter by Maduro, which is, the people are proud of being blocked by Trump. That's nothing. I got blocked by a dictator. I'm also going to get assassinated if I ever go there, so that's even better. I'm like the ultimate shitlord. Sorry.
Speaking of Venezuela, this week the Venezuelan government accused Mexican diplomats of participating in the murder attempt against him.
With the drone?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, come on, Pablo, Eduardo, you already know this. Mexicans are good at digging tunnels, not using drones. El Chapo proved this.
El Chapo even proved he was the one to use submarines here in Mexico. Nobody else, and by nobody else I mean definitely not the Navy, had actual
submarines.
Yeah.
El Chapo was the Elon Musk of Mexico.
Funny enough, this is not the first time I heard a similar story like that, because I think a while back he also accused Colombia of trying to kill him with drones too.
Yeah, and it's he accused the Colombians too. Like he's like also dude, or you just said that they were the Colombians and the Americans. Now the Mexicans, come on, man. Who else?
Well, they're blaming the Canadians too.
Oh, no, the Canadians.
Remember, I sent you that I sent you a link offline a while back, like that picture from the Canadian Communist Party, who also hate me. Mostly because I got more votes in a town council election than the leader of their federal party ever did, which is awesome. So I feel special. I'm better than communism.
You mentioned that they also talk smack about Americans here, because it's kind of funny because I remember it was some sort of, I guess, letter published by the Venezuelan government, and I remember it saying in Spanish that apparently our government is full of neo-Nazis and alt-righters or something in those lines.
Yeah, it is. It that was also the case. But they took a swing at us because apparently we're trying to destabilize Venezuela so we can mine their country dry of ore. That's why we're going to ruin their country so an invasion of friendly Canadians can sneak over and exploit the labor. I mean, listen, we can't even invade without asking permission. How the hell do you think we're going to exploit a nation? I mean, but then again, this is also from Venezuela, who, when, I don't know if you knew, if you've heard of Pedro Pablo Kuczynski, the president of Peru. Oh, whoa, it's Ozzy. How's it going, man?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, I have some time to spare, so I decided to drop by. Hi, Tyler.
Yo!
How are you, man?
I am fantastic. Is it really late there?
It's okay. Yes. I think it's raining. No, it's not raining. But it's okay. So, what are we talking about, guys?
We were just mentioning how Venezuela is now blaming Canada for helping undermine their economy.
Oh, yes, I saw that article.
And it's the Communist Party, of course, which is so ideologically retarded And oh dear, I've used the wrong pronoun. I've used the wrong word again. I'm going to trigger somebody, but I don't really care. But the communists are so retardedly ideological that, despite the fact that this gang of bastards is ruining the country, they're just like, yep, Canada's doing it because, of course, Canada needs free ore. We need cheap metal because we don't have any here, despite having shitloads of resources. So we're going to go to a small little brown country and do the Canadian thing of exploiting them because...
I mean, is that common of Canadians? Just like
steal
people's minerals?
We did it in Peru in the 90s. We collaborated with Fujimori, which, I mean, it's Alberto. We love El Chino. So
yeah, we love our Chino friend.
We do, but I was just saying to Tyler, actually, Tyler, have you heard of Pedro Pablo Kuczynski?
Sally, no.
Now he was the president of Peru before the current guy. He ended up getting forced to resign over a vote buying scandal involving Odebrecht because, of course, everything in South America involves Odebrecht. So what happened is that when he resigned, Nicolas Maduro had a fireworks party in Caracas to celebrate him resigning because he had told Maduro he wasn't welcomed in Peru for Summit of the Americas. So of course, the mature thing to do when your country is literally on the brink of collapse is to spend, a couple $100,000 on fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
That's
actually those fireworks were surely put to good use instead of, buying food.
It's a responsible thing to do.
Listen, I'm sorry. When the revolution needs it, who really needs food? Can you really put food before la revolution? You can't.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know something? Because I'm on a leftist server. I'm mostly like an spectator down there. And when they talk about the revolution, I'm thinking about how do they think that is going to happen? I mean, they think that one day they're going to just like be together and say we want to seize the means of production and blah 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 blah. I mean, revolutions take time, planning, and most important of all, they cost blood, a lot.
Yeah, listen, our generation, my generation, I'm assuming Tyler's in his 20s. Well, we all are in our 20s. So
yeah, 25.
20.
I'm old. I'm 29. Yeah.
Boomer.
I'm 29 too.
Me and Eduardo are like boomers. So
yeah.
Big boomers. Oh yeah, soon we're gonna need canes and like that touch of gray stuff. But no. The funny thing about all of this, God, I actually forgot what I was saying.
Well, the communism that I said.
Oh yeah. Like, listen, these guys can't even take a bad joke. How do you think they're going to take a bullet?
That's actually a good question.
Like, I mean, if you listen, I can knock someone my age over by assuming their gender. So, I mean, if the Imagine Revolution hits, what are you going to do? Like, get your skinny jeans on and your Doc Martens that you got from like I don't know what kids wear these days. That stuff that Birdman wears. I don't even know. Timberlands.
Yes.
No, you're going to put on your Timberlands, sip your Starbucks, and start lobbing Molotovs at the cops. Fuck off.
I start thinking that in case the revolution ever starts, I'm sure that someone is going to need someone to fight their battles. So I'm going to just train a bit and offer myself as a mercenary.
I think what's going to happen with there was a revolution is that the lefties would do what they were going to always do, which is hire that cheap illegal labor. So they're just gonna raise their like mercenary army of like South America or Latin American day laborers, and they're gonna be like, "Go Paco, fight!" "Sí, señor, I go." And he just toddles off.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see this revolution that socialists and communists are talking about like taking place in I think 10 years or even less, 5 years. Because such things, for example, revolutions, they need to take time. There need to be general discomfort with the social system. I mean, I'm aware
Except
that
Pinochet.
yeah, I mean, I'm aware that, and I will say this: I'm aware that capitalism is not a flawless system. No system is. Yes, I know, kind of a shocker. But
Helicopters are coming, dude. But,
I know.
No, I want to say this right quick. I'm sorry. I just realized one thing, and I've said it on my own Twitter, is that like it comes down to this revolution. Like people are all saying like they're part of the resist movement. The funny thing is, they're acting like they're the rebels, but in reality, they're the like if you guys know your history, the resistance is essentially the ancien regime, while like the peasants beat at the doors. They are the reaction. They're the reactionaries. They're the metniks. They're terrified of the change that's coming, and so but they're trying to market themselves as like we're hip and cool. Thanks, Soros, and like like a couple of dollars like fly their way.
Yeah.
But should we talk about Kavenaugh?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say some things about Kavenaugh, but well, first of all, I haven't been like following the whole thing, honestly. But what I can pick about from the media and the reaction of the people is that, for one, is that supposedly a long time ago, because I say supposedly because we have to take the presumption of innocence. I mean, well, first of all, Kavenaugh is not the kind of guy I will like or kind of vote because he's a Republican, and I don't like general Republicans. But I have to assume the innocence because that's the obvious due process of law. So, as far as I've seen, I'm surprised that first he was accused of sexual harassment. Now he's accused of gang rape
and dick smacking. Don't forget that.
Oh, and the dick smacking, yes. And look, I won't say, and I'm trying to avoid to tweet about those things because what happened if tomorrow we discover that no, he actually did those things? I don't want to just sound like a hypocrite. But if I can say something, what I can say is that there is not too much evidence out there to say whether or not he did those things they claim they did. Besides, it just, you have to consider that why many people don't trust rape allegations when someone, I don't know, says, oh, okay, so 40 years ago this man raped me. Because there's no evidence, people are not going to believe it, or they're going to say, okay, you're making shit up. I mean, look, I don't say that these women probably wouldn't have been raped or harassed. They probably have been. I don't know. But the evidence doesn't stack up in their favor.
No, it really doesn't. And I mean, like, they've ruined this guy already. Like, his only crime, honestly, was that he was chosen by Trump. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe that he got drunk and just randomly went up to a woman and like slapped her with his genitals. I mean, which is the funniest accusation I've ever heard being talked about in a Senate hearing. So Mr. Kavenaugh, you did not you admit that you pulled down your pants and hit this Puerto Rican woman in the face. And no, that didn't happen. So
I did not have sexual relationships with that woman.
I did not donkey smack this chick. But that's actually a bad one. But donkey smack is different. But anyway, but I mean, like, it's the I couldn't believe I heard that one. That was the craziest thing I've actually heard. I mean, like, I actually heard someone on my Facebook call him Judge Tallywhacker, which is like, so they're like he doesn't need a gavel anymore, does he? He's got experience using it. I was like, damn.
Can I just say that? And I think Lama tweeted about this, and she said that probably Kavenaugh, if he goes out, without any charges, he will go Handmaiden's Tale on these bitches.
Oh no, he will. He is. If he wasn't conservative before, he's going hardcore now.
No, I know, and besides, I keep seeing that. I think the greatest problem about this is that I see people defending the case and they say, no, they can't be fake. I mean, women don't lie about rape. But I'm thinking, women are human too. They can lie about everything just like any man. And,
yes. Sorry. The other part I found funny about this is that everybody now, like all the news outlets are like, well, he got emotional. He freaked out. He lost his temper. This is not what we need to see in a Supreme Court justice. So instead of just like he's a rapist, he's this and that, they're like, well, it's starting to die. He got upset. He showed human feelings. Get him. But I'm like, but if somebody was calling you a rapist and a pervert and a drunk
with no evidence,
everything, without
any evidence,
over and over, I'd be mad too. I'd be angry too.
I mean, is the same? We can use that, for example. Why? And I mean, I don't like to use it. Not exactly example, but it kind of like people, for example, that get torn off from many leftist groups because they're tired of being labeled racist, even though they do for every stuff they do. Like they will get something more conservative or something, and that's what I saw with Kavenaugh. And okay, so they say he got emotional, and then they say no. When these women cried, that meant it was real. She meant the things she said. Do you know that could be acting? You know that you can fake cry. I mean, crying doesn't prove me that doesn't substitute the proof that happened. I mean, I come from the classical way of due process. I mean, if there is evidence that incriminates Kavenaugh, I will believe it because for example, I don't know, they found a semen stained shirt on some room or something. I will believe that. I believe the evidence is there. But first of all, this happened like 40 years ago, so the evidence probably won't exist. The only thing we got are eyewitness reports, or lack thereof, or the report of women who were with him. And it's funny that one of the women who accused him of sexual harassment, she was in college while he was in high school. Yeah,
that's some American Pie level shit.
Yeah, I don't remember who she was. It was one of the later ones. And one guy just posted on Twitter. He said, "Okay, so this woman was in college, and she went to a high school party where people were presumably raped, and she didn't do nothing."
Like well, no, and it was that, and one of them went to like 10 of these like gang rape parties, apparently, that Kavenaugh deviously organized, and like she just like participated in multiple gang rapes while people were running train, which I'm not really up on my orgy lingo. You know, they're running a train on her. I sound like Hillary Clinton doing rap lyrics, but yeah, they're like, oh, they were all running a train on us. Oh, okay, so why didn't you go to the cops after the first 5 times? Please?
Yeah, I mean, why they didn't do that? But I don't know. I remember this all comes down from the whole environment that comes with rape accusation, because we have seen that a rape accusation is enough to destroy someone's life.
Yeah, especially after Delacroix and what happened with that case a few years ago. I forgot the name of it already, but it was like some sort of magazine, the Rolling Stone case. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember that I watched a video about it like a long time ago, and when you start reading it, you are like, "Holy shit! What is this? What is the thing?" I mean, it's kind of the shock. You're reading something, but then you realize that, okay, so wait a minute, where's the evidence? I mean, they said that the police went and they found no incriminatory evidence about this, and and the media run wild with the story. I remember there was a feminist who said that we live in a society where the people hate us. Women are hated, and I don't know the name, but she said that we live in a society that hates women.
Oh, we have a
Right.
rape culture. We have a rape culture.
Yeah.
And there was also this mattress woman.
Yeah,
Emma Solkowitz. Emma Solkowitz.
yeah, and now, well, one of her people, one of the people that is protecting her, Senator Gillibrand, is the one right in the eye of the hurricane with Kavanaugh accusations.
Cory Booker's up there too on the old accusation train.
Yeah, well, he's trying to, Kamala Harris, Senator Gillibrand, and they are trying to make their case for the Democratic nomination for 2020.
Yep. And I mean, listen, the only one I care about running right now is good old Feinstein. She's going to run again because she's 85. And of course, nothing says change and intolerance like an 85-year-old white chick. You know,
That's boomerism at its best.
I don't know. That's kind of like 50s, like kind of mentality there.
Yeah,
she's gonna turn the hose on the Republicans pretty soon. I don't know. Well, that's what she might think, or she's just gonna tell them to get off her lawn. Either one. We need term limits in the United States. That needs to happen. I don't know how you feel about it, Tyler.
For term limits, I agree with you. Basically, I think it should happen. Yeah.
You know it'll never happen though, because no congressman is ever going to like vote themselves out of a job.
We have a similar problem here. In the Congress, we have in every state Congress we have you can get there by two different ways. By the standard procedure, which is people voting you into office, and the plurinominal seats, which are, if the party gets a certain amount of votes in that congressional election, that party gets some more seats allocated, and they can put some congressmen in those seats that they allocated. So you either get a good each party have to submit a list for plurinominal congressmen. So when they, for example, if in this case party gets let's say 40 plurinominal seats, the first 40 people in their list gets to be a congressman for the next legislature.
Yeah, Mexico has proportional representation, don't they?
Yeah, it's that proportional representation.
We're trying to bring that into Canada actually, but the government doesn't want it to happen. And by the way, I just got to clarify what I said there about Feinstein and fire hoses. I just meant that she's gonna shoot at hippies with fire hoses instead of hippies, though it'd just be Republicans. Because being an old woman, I'm sure she friggin' hates hippies. No, sorry, I just had to make sure, because the way the world is nowadays, you can't really make any fire hose jokes. Somebody might get triggered.
Okay. Just one thing I want to bring up for this show, because it's called Qué Pasó and it's supposed to be like, I guess, Spanish, Hispanic stuff. Have you guys seen like the footage that's going on in Catalonia right now?
Of the guy writing history?
So what's going on right now is basically there's like a bunch of Catalan separatists having like these sort of torches just walking around with fire, and there's footage of them near like a police station. I'll send a link to you guys in the chat. It's right here.
Ooh, I've got to see. Oh, is that the one where they're doing like the tiki torch thing?
Yes.
Is it kind of like when the first time I saw that of the tiki torches, I was like, that's the moment you realize that the alt-right are just a bunch of sissies, because if they were really into it, they would just bring real torches. No, they went to, I don't know, a fucking Costco and they bought a bunch of tiki torches. No, really.
Oh wow, holy shit. And that's kind of like, are they implying they're gonna burn down the police station?
I would like to see them try.
It's Spain, so I don't think that'll happen. They'll say like it's time for a siesta, and everyone will go to sleep and go home.
Probably.
Because those Spaniards, they like their siestas.
Mm.
And I mean the Spanish Spaniards. Everyone, like Latinos, all just work. They're like, we don't have time, man. We got shit to do. You Peninsulares, just relax.
You do you.
Those Peninsulares are at it again.
Yeah, I put Nazi torches on Google, and the first thing that it came to me is this picture of this guy shouting with the Unite the Rally.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Like the guy with like the that one was kind of funny. But I mean, like, where do you get all these tiki torches to? Holy shit! I mean, like I didn't know Spain or Catalonia has this I don't know, Javier's Tiki Torch Emporium. You know, like, yeah, Javier's Tiki. Do you want to have a great party? Here, get my tiki. Oh shit, the Nazis are coming.
The Nazis are coming.
He's just like, okay,
if I know there were Nazis nearby, I will just basically buy a shit ton of tiki torches and then start selling them by the by the pack. I say, you want some fuel? Okay, so that will be $29.99.
I don't think either.
That, my friend, is peak capitalism. Selling tiki torches to Nazis.
Oh, Tyler's got it up on.
Not only that, but they also starting to threaten people and say that they want to cut off their heads.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Holy crap!
So shit is going wild in Catalonia.
Tyler, I imagine you are not pro-Catalonian independence.
No, nobody's.
Please.
Like, these people I've seen from the Catalonia independence movement are just so crazy. Like, they're absolutely crazy. Like, have you seen like these videos of like this one historian who had like the glasses and the beard saying how Catalonia just founded everything?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, basically he says some of the most stupid stuff. Like, he said that Catalonia founded the Americas, that the Americas founded Catalonia. Like the Americans spoke Catalan, and that the American flag was like resemblance of the Catalan flag.
Dude, the fuck?
Okay, first, you know that I will tell this to the historian. Most of the Spanish conquistadors who came here were from Andalusia, so fuck you.
And Extremadura.
Extremadura, yes.
To the other side.
And also I mean, here's another fun thing. This is like the fact that saying Catalonia discovered everything is just like saying that there are like Peruvian Nazis. And I have seen this lately. I don't think it was you guys who sent me this photo. And it's this Quechua guy who, and you can just tell he's like indigenous Peruvian is all hell. And he's like, although my heart is Peruvian, the blood that flows in my I gotta find it. He's like the blood that flows in my veins.
I saw it. It was a popular meme here in Chile because it was so over the top and everyone was like, what
it goes soy peruano de corazón, pero la sangre alemana fluye por mis venas. Gracias a mi madre, junto a mi familia somos de raza aria, Nazi hasta la muerte. And then he's like,
you know the real story about that.
There actually are like Peruvian mestizo Nazis.
I mean, I think I know the meme you're talking about. So I remember a long time ago that there was this like what is this? La bandera de Estados Unidos, hija y nieta de la bandera catalana. Oh, come on. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. So that means that the United States should be speaking Catalan now. No. So that means the American flag is cultural appropriation.
Oh, come on.
Make America a constitutional monarchy again.
Yes. So what I was saying, so what happened was that this guy was a Peruvian man who posted his picture on a website in which he was looking for work. And so some dude on the internet just decided to make a meme about a Peruvian Nazi, found his picture, then posted on this shit post, basically saying, "Oh, por la familia soy raza aria y todo eso." And I remember that very same guy, he went to his Facebook basically and said, "No, I don't believe such things. Someone found my picture." And saying that supposedly I'm a Nazi. No, I'm not. So let me see if I can find the meme. Nazi peruano. Although that sounds pretty ridiculous. I mean, every kind of Latin American Nazi is just the most stupid thing you can imagine.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
A little while back, there was some scandal in the National Action Party (PAN). This party in Mexico is the most representative party in the right of the right. Well, so some guys from the youth branch of the party, apparently there were Nazis, and their pictures start circulating through the internet.
Oh, guys, I've found the best one.
And they really
let me get this up here. I've got to find it because apparently in Peru, there's the mayoral race where Hitler is squaring off against Lenin.
Good. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it here. Let me just see. I've got to get the. I'm gonna share the link. It's just too good to be true, and it was reported by the Times of Israel, because, of course, they have to do it. So let me see. From the Times of Israel, Hitler squares off against Lenin. Let me see. How do I do this? Because I'm a boomer. Let's see. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Wait a second. More Nazis. brown more Nazis. Brown Nazis.
Hitler squares off against Lenin in Peruvian mayoral election. I'm the good Hitler, says candidate who insists his father didn't know the Nazi dictator when he was named. Because nobody knows who Hitler was back in Peru. Look at that. Look at that. That's so sweet.
It looks like all black, the screen. I can see nothing.
Oh, can you guys see the screen?
Let me see if not even in the transmission.
Okay, let me just see. Can you see now?
Eduardo, so
yeah.
More Nazis.
Yeah, we call them like that here, more Nazis.
Eduardo, can you see it now?
No, can't see anything.
Okay, but everyone else can see it.
I don't know. Can you?
How?
What the hell is this?
Let me see. What is going on here? Let me see. Screen share.
I remember this guy. So
okay,
I don't know.
Okay. Tell me if you can see it now.
Who was this?
For a second, yes, for a second I could see.
Okay, well, for some reason it's not. So I'm just going to read this right quick because it's just golden. A mayoral candidate bearing the name of Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler is seeking to lead a small town in the Peruvian Andes, but his candidacy has been opposed by a challenger with the name of Soviet leader Lenin. Ahead of the 7th of October election, posters trumpeting Hitler Albacent as reading "Hitler returns" and "Hitler with the people" have gone up in Yungar. But the candidate, he insists, he rejects the Nazi leader's ideology. "I'm the good Hitler," he told a local broadcaster, according to Reuters. Alba said his father did not know who Adolf Hitler was when he was named. He also said that despite changing his name after learning about the despite considering changing his name after learning about the dictator, he decided against it. His mayoral hopes briefly came under threat when his opponent, Lenin Vladimir Rodriguez Valverde, sought to block him from registering as a candidate. But it was dismissed by the authorities. Reuters notes that many people in Latin America are named after infamous historical figures due to their unique names, including Osama bin Laden, who played last year for Peru's national youth team.
What the hell?
There's no Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, we have that problem here in Latin America. We like to put weird names like that here. I mean, I think in Mexico City, the registration office or is has faculties to advise the parents when choosing a name for their son. Like, okay, I want my son to be called Robocop Brian de Jesus. And the CV and the registry officer is supposedly has capabilities to tell him, like, do you really want to call him that? Think of the bullying of the bullying.
No, I've seen some weird names. Like in my community, in my town or my province, people get like their names are just strange. Like there's one guy I know. Like our first premier was named Smallwood.
Smallwood.
Smallwood. If the wood is slang for something else, sometimes I've got wood. So,
I mean, we know you got wood, man.
We have lots of trees here. We have lots of trees, but his tree was small. That's why it was Smallwood. But no, like it was him. I knew a guy named Harry Butt.
Harry Butt.
Harry Butt. I also know a guy named Jeff Kulo.
Jeff Kulo.
I
wish I was joking.
In this episode of The Office, where Michael is coaching Jim and Dwight to be nice people on the phone, and Jim pretends to be called somebody called bootlicker.
Yeah, no, but it is like that. There's some different names here. It's interesting, but I've seen like Latin America does happen to name its kids after all kinds of fucked up people. I mean, you've got like it is there Hitler Alba Sanchez. I mean, like who I don't know who thought about this. Like one day, like I'm gonna name my kid Hitler because I want him to go to reach great heights and then fuck up in Russia.
But that's the thing. I mean, even people who haven't had access to the internet know who Hitler is. I mean,
if you don't know who Hitler is, I mean, now listen, it is the Peruvian Andes, but I'm pretty sure, like, unless he heard, like, how would you not hear about Hitler? I mean, he's kind of like,
yeah. I mean, let's ask the same guy. He said, "Hey, why do you name him Fujimori?" Wait, why are you naming him? Why will put the name of that Chino?
Well, Fujimori the only thing he did was kill a lot of communists and people and blow up an apartment building and commit human rights violations and tortures and assassinations. Actually, yeah, he was pretty bad. He was a naughty boy. Sorry.
Yeah, that reminds me that I think it was Sargon in a Week in Stupid a long time ago said that, oh no, Pinochet did nothing wrong. He just killed like 400
la libertad de expresión de los medios.
Here's also another news bit from Spain. It says right here that Cameron Calvo proposed to regulate free speech of the media.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. It's like because she said freedom of speech doesn't protect any hate speech or something like that. Anyways, it's
Yeah,
super fucked up.
no. Yeah, no. Spain and Europe is just messed up in general, and I'm going to get in my Huascar shaped plane and just go down to Peru and just live a happy life, because they don't get on with this kind of shit in South America. They're just like, well, like they're like, we've got first world problems. Nada, fuck up, go home.
No
Hey,
jets.
hey, if you come to Peru, come visit me. You and your girlfriend.
Yeah, we shall.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, of course,
I don't trust you Chileans. Listen here, you've stolen enough. You've stolen enough from Peruvians. Okay, you're not stealing anymore, you little bugger.
Wait a second. Peru stole half of Ecuador.
Yeah, but that's Ecuador. They deserve it.
Protege tu cafecita.
I don't know if Lama heard that. Well, if she heard that, sorry, Lama, you stole half of Ecuador.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, listen. Hey, listen. In their defense, Ecuador used to be part of the Incas. So I mean, Cassius Belli, it's all valid.
Oh yes, yeah.
If this was Crusader Kings 2, we'd have a valid Cassius Belli to invade Ecuador. Okay, and then marry our cousins. But that's why the world isn't Crusader Kings 2.
Hey, I wanted to show you this. So what happened? This happened in. I didn't was aware but my president went on a state visit to see Donald Trump, and I need to show you this because. So he decided just basically to shit post, and he showed this meme. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Share. Okay. Whoa.
Do. Oh yeah, this was.
Everyone here was like, "What the hell is he doing?" And the fun thing is that Trump is like, "Oh, okay, so he came just here to shit post." I mean, why he couldn't send it for on Twitter? I mean, just tweet, "Oh, at real Donald Trump," and you see, he supposedly said here, Chile is in the heart of the United States or something like that, and I was just sitting like there, like, okay. But it's so funny because a long time ago, this guy Piñera, he do you remember the whole thing of the 33 Chilean miners?
Yes, yeah.
So let me see. So what happened? So I remember that he was showing this little paper that the miners sent to say that everything were okay. Aquí estamos bien aquí los 33. And he was showing it to everyone and giving copies of it as a gift to everyone. And I remember there's this one funny video in which he's with his wife and he's saying, "I'm going to give you a little present." And then her wife is saying, "No lo muestre, don't show it, please, don't." And he shows the fucking paper. and she had to smile. He had to smile like, yeah. He's showing it again. But the funny thing about this guy, about Piñera, is that he has he stole money from a bank in Talca a long time ago, and he hasn't been prosecuted by that. And
isn't he immune now because he's the president?
I mean, he has always been a meme since he run for office. At first, I think, in 2007, like that, and he's someone who, I mean, in the eyes of the right and some people, he's what Chile needs, and the eyes of the left, he's basically our Trump. But he's mostly laid down. I mean, he's not a Trump-esque character, we could say. I mean, if we compare him to everyone if we compare him to Bolsonaro, Piñera is like the very chill dude. He's I mean, the thing
Nobody
with
wants
Piñera
to
is,
stab him.
yeah, but the thing with Piñera is that he's not. I mean, he's a businessman, of course, but he when he fucks it up, it's not because he did something wrong most of the time. It's because he mispronounces certain words, so he can't speak properly. I mean, many times one of the most common memes here was the fact that he couldn't pronounce certain words when he was speaking, because he had this problem that he every time had a speech for everything. But in general, if we compare him with other right wing presidents or other right-wing politicians, he's more laid back. I'm not happy that he is my
He's
president.
better than Bachelet.
Everything is better than Bachelet from this point on.
Well,
Honestly.
she's still getting told off by the Chinese, so yeah.
Yeah, probably.
She,
Okay, so
well, everyone gets cucked by China in the end.
yeah, I mean, considering that Chinese companies now own a huge chunk of Latin America. Yeah,
It's not just Latin America; it's also here because almost everything is just made from China.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
in Canada, the Chinese own Nexon, which is a big oil company. It's now it's like Nexon, and then you look underneath, and it's like a subsidiary of the Chinese National Offshore Oil Company, being your friend every day.
I mean, you know something I is fun. I was in at uni, and we were in history class, and we were now talking about colonialism, imperialism, and of course, some people were getting triggered, obviously during class. I'm not joking. I'm telling the truth, and we're speaking about the scramble for Africa, and then we start to talk about the Chinese, and the teacher says that one thing that the Chinese and the Japanese have in common is the perception in the grand scheme of things. The Chinese believe themselves to be superior to every other civilization, and he shows like a little graph. He says, okay, so in the case of China is in the middle, the center of the universe. In fact, during medieval times, their own kingdom was the Middle Kingdom because they thought they were in the middle of the world. Then surrounding
without
them,
any hobbits.
yeah, but they're I mean, there were some very dwarf people in China, but that was a long time ago. So surrounding them, there's Korea, Japan, and all the countries that border them. They are what they call like tributary states. They were states that they didn't deem like them, but they say, oh, we teach them how to read, how to write, and we teach them everything they know, which in some countries is true, in others is not. I mean, the Japanese say that they taught the Chinese to write. The Chinese say, no, we taught you to write. But I think so I'm thinking that after some archaeological studies show, no, actually the Chinese were the ones who taught the Japanese how to write. In fact, the kanji, the Japanese language, is mostly based on Chinese characters. And they saw the Europeans as barbarians. And he said that it's very funny how the political landscape has changed. Now China is a global superpower that now it pretty much owns companies everywhere in the world. I mean, if you're looking, for example, I look at a map of Africa, China owns a shit ton of land and of mining companies in Africa, even more so than Europeans.
Because
China
the thing
owns
is,
Zimbabwe.
Yes,
China owns Venezuela now because they lent the Venezuelans $50 billion, and of course, Maduro's not paying that back anytime soon. So what is debt diplomacy, and they're smart because America, Canada, the rest of the West are idiots because we just go up and we're just like, hey there, little brown fellow, here's some money, just no strings attached, do what you want with it, but make sure you use it for the right causes. And Buddy goes, oh yeah, don't worry, and then goes and buys a Cadillac. No, that I mean, we give foreign aid with no strings attached. And listen, it's nice to be friendly.
Does Canada gives a lot of foreign aid?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I kind of see it because Canada has like this, I would say, altruistic nature. I mean, I mean, I think that the problem with the Canadians is that you are too nice.
No, we're just stupid.
It's kind of funny because I said that earlier in the show that they were just too nice.
So we're nice to everyone. You see, we're nice to like dictators in South America. We won't even be mean to Maduro, really. He's like, we're gonna kick out your ambassador. We're like, okay, there, eh? Well, come back again soon.
Okay, goodbye.
We're not gonna kick your ambassador out, eh? But please be kind to us. Shut up, Canadians. Okay, thank you, sir. You have a nice day there, eh? Would you like some maple syrup and a beaver skin?
You want some arepas?
Listen, no. I had an arepa in Lima, and I'm never eating them again. There is a horror story behind that you will never ever know, but it involved a lot of praying and toilet paper. But but no,
Bolivares, very much.
I still wish I had a few million bolivars, because I would have really loved to wipe my ass with socialism.
You say that I'm going to buy that shit.
Yeah, you buy it and you send it to me, and I will wait. I will listen. I will, after disinfecting it, I will wipe my ass with a bolivar. Because that's how much I think of Nicolas Maduro. I wish it had Chavez's face on it, because that would make it even better. But unfortunately, they're smart. They're smart enough.
So what's Trudeau is up to now? I miss him already.
Oh well, we discussed it earlier. His government gave a child killer, instead of sending her to prison, she did half her sentence already before she's eligible for parole, and they sent her to a Native American healing lodge, despite the fact she's a child killer.
Oh.
And we gave veterans benefits to a cop killer who wasn't actually a veteran. So, because he had PTSD because he murdered a cop. Like he literally like cold-bloodedly killed a cop, and he got PTSD from it. And to help his father, who was a veteran, we gave the cop killer veterans benefits. Just look at the show earlier. It's pretty messed up. It's really stupid. But here's the best one, guys. This is the gem. We are now going to be establishing a government office to promote investment in developing nations.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay,
that works.
Yeah, that works totally. It's not obviously a huge waste of money. It's better than just intervening in foreign countries, but intervening in our country. But are you gonna get your money back?
No, we're not, because you see, this is what it is, that this office is established to inspire private businesses to invest in the developing world. I don't know why we need to invest in the developing world when I live in a place where if you drive on the national highway, you will lose your tire on the road because the roads are that bad. Like, you can't drive from my town to St. John's without beating up your car. The roads are that bad.
That happens the same with, for example, here in Chile, we have everything privatized. There is no road here in Chile that has been built by the state. They're all built by private companies.
That guy T would love you. He should move to Chile.
That guy T, he's a libertarian.
You're telling us that that the government doesn't build roads, so dude, you just save the ANCAPs from their own trap.
That guy T is fapping tonight.
Yeah. Let's remember that. I don't know why, but it seems that many anarcho-capitalists and libertarians just like Pinochet. I don't know why. I keep seeing it. I thought it was a meme, but actually it's kind of true.
No, a lot of people like Pinochet.
Oh.
There's a lot of people who like Fujimori too. There's a lot of people who. That's why Keiko was like the leader of the largest party in Congress, because remember, her campaigns are essentially, I'm going to let Danny out of prison where he's been sent away for crimes against humanity. That's why you need to vote for me. And then her brother Kenji went and frigged it all up. It was glorious. I encourage everyone to look up how Alberto Fujimori got released, because he essentially bribed Pedro Kuczynski to let him out, and then became Kenji did, because it was so funny that you see Kenji Fujimori out saying like, I am one of the Avengers. I'm going to destroy corruption. I am going to change things.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you
No,
always lying?
And that's the best part, because he then gets caught on video trying to bribe congressmen in his sister's party to vote to save Kuczynski from impeachment. And it was videotaped by his own sister.
Oh, wait. I mean, wait. Oh,
do you know who Vladimiro Montesinos is?
Nope.
No, I haven't heard of that name.
Vladimiro Montesinos was Alberto Fujimori's jefe de seguridad, jefe de inteligencia.
Oh, the guy behind the intelligence group. Okay.
Yeah, he was in charge of Servicio Inteligencia Nacional de Peru, SIN. So he ended up like videotaping like all his conversations as a way of blackmailing his opponents. But then when the Fujimori regime collapsed, they found all his videos.
Oh,
they're called the Vladdy videos. They're awesome. It's just him essentially like threatening and blackmailing people with like sex and stuff. It was
Vladdy videos.
Yeah, the Vladdy videos.
I found that there's actually, I think there's actually a movie made.
There's a ton of these things. There's a ton of these videos. But the funny thing is, fun fact about Montesinos, he's actually literally a traitor. He sold information about the Peruvian military during the regime of I think it was Juan Alvarado to the Americans. He sold information to them while he was an infantry captain, and got, I think, sent to prison, where he got out and studied law at the Universidad de San Marcos, which is a very good university, one of the best in South America. And I have to say this because I like Peru, so that's why I'm saying it. But he got his law degree in 4 months, and then the book that has his record of his thesis and everything mysteriously disappeared. Never to be seen again. Oh, I don't know. A ghost happened to maybe come in and take that one particular paper.
I think it was a Chilean.
Yeah, you guys are like the swipers of South America, like from Dora the Explorer. You guys are the swipe. It's like Chile, no tocar. Chile, no tocar. All of a sudden, we've lost Arica. Can you be sad? Yeah, that's it. And it's like Miguel Grau was there, like Chile, no take. Chile, no boom.
Okay, so I'm
okay. Somebody's liking some Japanese pop.
Nice elevator music.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was an alarm. But as I was reading about the Bloody video case, and they say that the videos were hidden on a beach, on a house by the beach that he had on Arica. And so there's the list of the Vladdy video. So
we need to do a Vladdy video episode sometime, because I'm telling you guys, we
need to do like a reaction to it or something.
We should do a reaction, because if we actually watch them, we will get banned on YouTube, because
they say here I'm reading that they say that in Peru, by the time this happened, it had the same effect as Watergate. I mean,
it did, because Montesinos was very, very entrenched. He bribed everybody. Everybody worked for him. At the end of the day, like, he was only supposed to be making like 13 grand a month as head of SIN, but he was making like, I think it was $600,000 a month or $600,000 a year. So he was bribing people and getting bribes back. He was really corrupt, and he should never have gotten to where he did. But Fujimori needed him, and also the Catholic Church helped him, helped Fujimori.
Okay, so I'm reading one. So one of the videos was Montesinos, and here says a name, Jose Francisco Cruciat, I think it was is the name. So they met with a show woman, Gisela Valcárcel. Valcárcel, that's actually the name.
I know that story.
Oh shit! So, and here says that because there was a book called La Ceñito that had intimate details about her life, and he asked him to stop the spreading of the book. And I'm here. So I was like, hey, I thought that we're going to see stuff like, I don't know. So someone came to this guy and said, I want this guy to disappear, basically. No, we just I think we know how she paid for the removal of that book to Montesinos. There's no need to imagine that.
Yeah. Peru is interesting, and I mean, you can do enough streams on that.
Yeah,
on the Fujimori years, because it was probably the most corrupt party, or the corrupt time it was. But actually, here's a fun thing before we kind of like teeter off, because it is getting rather late. I imagine in Uncle Sam land it's not too early for Tyler.
But, right now in Maryland, it is 9:37 p.m.
Oh crap! It's 11, 10 minutes after 11 here. But the funny thing about I've noticed lately is that every 20 or so years, Peru goes into a dictatorship stage. No, really? If you look at it, it's like Juan Alvarado. Then it was democracy under Bela Lunteri and Alan Garcia, and then it went to Fujimori. So it was, like 10 years, 20 years after the military dictatorship. Well, 10 years really, because the dictatorship ended, I think, in I think it was 79. And then it went on for democracy for 10 years, because you had Bela Lunteri and then Alan Garcia, like I said, and then Fujimori, and then autogolpe, corruption, 10 more years, bang, no more democracy back. And then you had Alan Garcia again, you had Alejandro Toledo, Oyente Humala, Pedro Pablo Kuczynski, and now you have Martin Vizcarra. And you had like some other guy who was like caretaker president, but I don't care about him because he was in for like 15 minutes. And he looks like a little like weasel thing, so I don't even want to think about him. He looks like a Chilean.
I was thinking about Peru recently, because I'm thinking of going to Peru and finding a Peruvian Japanese waifu.
Don't mention this on the stream, because if you do, all the like otakus and like Japanese wannabes in America are gonna like have this weird like pilgrimage to Lima.
To Lima.
They're just gonna be like Chino paradise.
No. I will go. I will go Pacific War on them and just take all the Asian girls for myself.
Listen, you had that chance. during the Pacific War with Patricio Lynch. Okay, you frigged up because he freed. Because if you know about Patricio Lynch, he freed all the Chinese slaves. Because for some reason Peru liked to enslave Asians.
I mean, that was something that also happened here in the northern Chile. There were this is like a popular, I would say, legend, because as far as I've seen, yes, there were Chinese in northern Chile, but they weren't as much as people say they were. I remember, for example, that they were kind of like a cultural syncretism, because one of a dance in the north, the ones called Las Diabladas, which some of the dancers dressed in costumes of very different colors and with masks of dragons and demons and stuff. And according to what they say, that was inspired by the Chinese immigrants who brought with them their culture and their rituals. I mean, the dragon on a pole.
Yeah.
Kind of like that sort of aesthetic, basically.
I get you. Yeah, but
But I will still go to Peru.
no, you should. Peru is awesome, and Lima is the greatest place I've ever seen.
Wanna join me, Tyler?
Sure, why not?
We want a nation rifle?
Of course, why not?
Yeah, well, yeah. So like, oh god, I have to be like your little guide. So I'll like. You just got to watch out for the other women there who may or may not be women. Who hang around Plaza San Martin.
Oh no! We're not gonna get there.
Don't worry. Listen, you'll need to stick with me. You'll go with me to Lima, and I will make sure you don't run into this problem. And also avoid a place called Pizza Alley. You don't want to go to Pizza Alley.
Oh, okay.
But guys, it's 10 after 11. I think we can. I think we've covered a lot. You know, we've this was actually a rather productive stream.
Mm-hmm.
And he even had some jokes, which was always fun.
Yeah, that makes it better.
So I guess anything you guys want to say in closing, and before actually we do, I just want to once again thanks and muchas gracias para Tyler por venir. And,
thank you, Tyler.
De nada.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Tyler.
And you guys want to say anything before you go, Tyler, being our guest of honor?
Okay, sure. My Twitter account is TylerPreston20. My YouTube is TylerPreston20. And catch you guys on my channel.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Go follow Tyler.
Yeah.
And follow
and of course follow us.
He's the best Uncle Tom you'll ever meet.
Of course.
He's our favorite. He's my favorite black friend.
I wouldn't trade him for another black friend.
I actually remember when your channel first started taking off.
Mm-hmm.
When his channel started taking off, I was crazy for that. I always liked listening to that opening, so it was awesome. And sorry, Ozzy.
Okay, no, don't worry. But I remember that there's this scene on Infinity War when they ask Captain America, so where we gonna go? I know some guy, and then some tribal music starts sounding, and I saw a meme that said, when they say you're racist, but then you say I got a black friend, and they say I know someone. And then I start remembering. So Tyler, are you just going to scream Wakanda forever and then doing like how was the word chime?
No, the best thing I ever had is do you guys remember that time I was in that birthright citizenship debate?
Yeah,
like I was long story short, I was trying to tell people that in order to prevent certain things, like birthright citizenship should be restricted to people who are like their parents are citizens or at least permanent residents. And this radio host, Tyler, you might laugh at this. He's like, he's like, that's very racist and nationalistic. And he goes, oh, your name doesn't sound very indigenous. When's the last time you had coffee with an immigrant? And I was like, and I literally jumped and I was like, I am so happy you asked. About 2 weeks ago, when I sat down with a Puerto Rican Anglican priest and discussed how to bring Venezuelan refugees to this area. And also, I am actually indigenous. Thank you very much. I'm actually a mestizo. You have a good day.
Drop the mic.
Oh, and he still literally to this day thinks that I'm bigoted racist. Who's also not, and also a white nationalist, despite the fact that I just told him, I was like, dude, I'm not white, technically. I just play one on TV.
That's something that's very funny, that the way you say your name doesn't sound native enough. What the fuck does that mean? I mean that's like saying, for example, I don't know. Let's imagine that there's a black man called, I don't know, John. Just a simple name, and then someone comes and said, "Hey, your name is not African American enough." What the hell does that mean?
Well, in order to fix this, you need to wear a dashiki. And actually, by the way, this is a funny thing. I got to say this right quick. It's awesome because You guys have heard of like the Back to Africa movement, right?
Of course.
Me and this black British friend were talking about this, and I'm just like, do you know that this has been done before? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, it's called Liberia. Liberia is the original Back to Africa, and I was like, and you know how that worked out? He's like, how? General butt naked. That's what happened. I said, do you think that like the guy who grew up in like, I don't know, I was gonna say Baltimore, Chicago, who goes around with his dashiki on and does like and celebrates Kwanzaa, do you think he's gonna last 5 minutes in Africa? He's gonna get shot. And then like or he's gonna get eaten by some animal because Africa is dangerous as fuck.
You would just arrive and say, "Hey guys, what up? Wakanda forever!" And they will be like, "What?" and they will say,
"Get the fuck out."
They say, "He got the popo. We need to cut him in bits and send it to the God of Thunder." He's just like, "My brothers, I am here." What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like,
you don't know the way.
Are we going to do some African stuff? You mean work? Yeah, we're going there now.
I mean, that's the thing. Look, honestly, I say that when I see these black supremacists, because that's what they are, they're talking, no, Africa invented everything from philosophy and Europe, all of Europe,
Greek homos.
Yes, and they say all of Europe's cathedrals are built on African resources. No, I mean, I will be fair. You see, I understand. Yes, colonialism, imperialism was bad. I get it, but
I have a couple. I think colonialism was not that bad. We are
listen, guys. No, all of us are. Like everyone here is literally a byproduct of colonialism.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, I'm just a descendant of slaves. So.
I'm a descendant of.
Tyler, you can say the same thing Killmonger said. Bury me with my ancestors on the sea, who said that they say that dying was a better life than servitude. But wait, if your ancestor dies in the sea, then why you are here?
I just look at it like this. I'm part Aboriginal, a small part French. Please don't hold that against me. And British. I'm a result that my ancestors arrived. My mother's family's ancestors arrived from France, and all you could hear while getting off the boat was "ho ho ho," and then they just did, like they pulled a Spanish. Yeah,
while they were pulling Spanish, they would say, "Ho ho ho, you sack."
No, it's just either like from it. Well, either way you hear it. Like in Canada it was "oh ho ho," and then in Spain it was like "Hola, mommy." That's just the first thing that comes out. It's just "Hola, mommy," and it's just "Hola." And then there was a lot of conquistadoring done, and not in the killy butchery sense. It just got really sexy. And then Venezuela was formed. So it kind of worked out, because there is no such thing as an ugly Venezuelan, and if there is, they leave him on a hill like something in a 300.
Probably.
It's just like this child is unattractive. You go to Bolivia. We send the ugly people to Bolivia or Paraguay.
Or you go to Argentina.
No, that's where they send the like defective Colombians. They either go to Brazil or they go to Argentina. The ugly people go to Paraguay or Bolivia because it's landlocked and it keeps them from spreading. So, or they send them to the Andes because they'll never be able to get out unless they survive by eating vast amounts of potatoes and eventually escaping their mountain hell. But it's not going to happen. But guys, it's been fun. I want to thank everyone for popping on and taking time to do the stream. And Ozzy, welcome back, man.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, Uni is kind of tough right now, but I think I will still have time. I mean, it's not that bad. I might die, but it's not that bad.
Well, we'll always conscript Llama to bury you after she's done stealing the boat.
Probably. But I just want to say thank you for having me back, and I hope that we can have a next live stream next Sunday.
Oh, we always do, man.
Yes.
Sunday fun day. Except if you're Kavenaugh, because it's not a fun day on Sunday.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, but hey, well, yeah.
Mhm.
Let's just hope that all gets sorted out in either way. And
Yeah, I kind of like just gave up. I just get done with it already, please.
get on with it, as they said in Monty Python.
Yes, please get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
But guys, well, it's been fun. So to our guests and that and everyone, I say good night.
Good
See you
night.
next week.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas nachos.
Mhm.
There we go.